my summer reading book, I have to read The Lovely Bones, and I know it's already halfway through summer and I haven't started it yet, and so to try to motivate me to start it, I'm going to make a video roughly about every chapter, sometimes maybe like 2 chapters in one video, sort of like what Naramon did with Alex Wood's Twilight, which I was a huge fan of, and if you haven't seen it, watch it because they're hilarious. I just read the first chapter, and I have to say, it's really, really good. Like, it really surprised me. They have really good, like, she's just a really good writer, and she starts off by saying, "My name is Salmon, like the fish, first name Susie," so her name is Susie Salmon. It is a really odd name. She was 14 when she was murdered on December 6, 1973. Is the first 2 sentences, and it goes into and it goes into saying that she's in junior high, and she was in the yearbook, and like all that stuff, and it's saying that she was in the chess club and the chemistry club, and she was not good at cooking, and her favorite teacher was Mr. Boydie, and she says that don't suspect him, he wasn't the killer. And she tells you the killer was her neighbor, and her neighbor, Mr. Harvey. And she was walking home one day from junior high, and it was dark out because it was the middle of winter, and so the days were short, and it gets dark earlier, and like basic. And he says, like, "I don't mean to startle you," and she was just like, "Oh, sorry, I need to get home. My mom wants me home before dark." And he says, "It's already dark out." I would have said, "That's why I really need to get home." She doesn't say anything. And then he says, he calls her by name. And she said that she had never told him her name. I would have got a little suspicious there, but her parents had talked to him, so she's like, my dad probably told him the story about me peeing on my sister when I was younger, and that's how he knows my name. So that didn't freak her out. Well, he says, "I want to show you something." So she goes and follows him, and he goes into this little hiding place underground that he had built, and he says that he built it for the neighborhood kids to play in, like a little hangout place, and she said that she didn't believe him, but she felt sorry for him because he had never been married and he was a lonely person, and so she just kind of like went with him. And then he's like, when they're in the little clubhouse or whatever, he said, "Take off your pants. I want to check and see if you're a virgin." You can't check that. And he said, I'm just checking to see if you're a good girl. Your parents will be thankful for me." And she says no. And he pushes her on the floor and starts kissing her and kissing her lips and kissing her neck, and she says his lips were wet, and obviously she's not enjoying this because she doesn't really want to be raped. Obviously, that's why it's called rape. And she's saying, "No, please stop, like, don't do this." She's begging for her life, basically, what you would do. And he rips off her pants and says, "Big white panties." I don't know why he has to say that, but he does. And you can hear her mom calling her from her house because they're neighbors, so if she yells, you're going to be able to hear her. And she's saying, like, "Susie, dinner's ready, Susie." And he put a hat in her mouth so that she couldn't scream because he got tired of her begging for her life. And right when he's presumably done raping her, she said that she was surprised that she survived this. Like, she couldn't believe that she had survived this traumatic experience of being raped. And she didn't. These are the words, and this is why I think she's a great author, is because of this sentence right here. "I knew he was going to kill me. I did not realize then that I was an animal already dying." I just think that's a really good line. she's just a phenomenal author. What's her name? Alice Sebold. Alice Sebold. And Mr. Harvey takes out the hat from her mouth and says, "Tell me you love me." And she tells him, she said, "Gently I did." And the end came anyway. So that's the end of chapter 1. She is already dead. She's telling you her story. And at the end of chapter 1, you hear how it happened, and she's dead. And we'll see what happens later in chapter 2.